Hello everyone, all you wonderful people, and welcome back to the next episode of my JavaScript tutorial. In this episode I'm going to cover the JavaScript comparison operators and the if statement. So yeah, let's get right into it. So here I got my paragraph with the ID of example. I have taken it over here, const example equals document.getElementById example. So whenever I want to, I can type example dot text content equals some text. And there we go. So I can insert the value or text or anything directly to the web page. Okay. Now first I'm gonna go through the if statement. So the if statement is used to check a condition. For example, I can type in if. Actually first let's make a variable. Let's make let x equals 10 and let y equals 5. And then I'm going to cover these, the if statement and the comparison operators at the same time. So basically I'm gonna type if x is equal to y, we will do example.textContent x, let's use a backtick or a template literal, x and y have the same value, else example.textContent equals a template literal, x and y have the different value. So right now we have an if statement. We are checking if the value of x is equal to the value of y. If this is true, we will do this line of code. If this is false, we will do this else statement right over here. X and y have the different value. And that's what's being shown on the web page right now. So that's the if statement. We can basically check or compare different values. The if statement usually results in a Boolean value, or it always results in a Boolean value. So if this is true, do this. If this is false, do this. That's basically what this means. Okay, so we know that x is not equal to y. How about if we make them equal? Now, this is gonna return true and we will execute this code. And now it says on the web page that x and y have the same value. And that's true. Alright. Then we have the triple equal sign. So that basically checks if the value of the variables is equal and also if they share an equal data type. So for example, if I used triple equal sign on this one, both of these variables are the number data type. So yeah, and we are checking if the value and the type of x is strictly equal to the value of y. And that's true in this case, so we will execute this line of code. However, if I make this y over here into a string data type, right now it's a string, which means it's a series of characters. So this is no longer true, because the data types are different. X is a number, y is a string. String is a series of characters. So if x is strictly equal to y, which it isn't, we will do this line of code because this results in false. So x and y have the different value in this example, even though they are the same value, but they don't have the same data type. This one is a number and this one is a string. Okay, so that's the equal to comparison operator and the equal value and equal data type operator. So yeah. Alright, then we have the not equal operator, an exclamation mark and a assignment mark. So if we set this to be x is not equal to y, that's kind of the opposite of this. So x equals y, x and y have the same value. Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna make these both into number data types. But if we say that x is not equal to y, then this is gonna result in false. So because x is equal to y, they are both numbers and they both are 10. So this will result in false. I mean, if the value of x is not equal to the value of y, we will do this code. But because the value of x is equal to the value of y, we are going to print this text on the web page. Now you might notice though that this line of code is actually lying. It's saying x and y have the different value. So when we are using the not operator, we should switch these lines around. So I'm gonna do exactly that. So here we go. Alright, so now it's not lying anymore. X and y have the same value because x is not equal to y. This is like the opposite of this. Alright. Then I'm gonna show the not equal value or not equal data type comparison operator, which is an exclamation mark and two equal signs. So if the value of x is strictly not equal to the value of y, let's make y, actually first I'm gonna keep them both as a number. So right now it's doing this line of code. So that means that this results in false. If this was true, we would do this. But because it prints this, it means that this is false. X is not equal to the value of y, or they don't have the equal data type. This results in false. So we print this line of code. However, if I'm gonna change this one to a string data type, like that, now it's actually going to say that this line right over here, x and y have the different value, as you can see on the web page. So in this example, x is not equal to the value of y. They are equal, but they are not the same data type. So this time, this results in true. And we print this line of code right over here. So basically, if x is not strictly equal to y, which it isn't, we print this. Otherwise we would print this. and they are not strictly equal to one another because the other is a string data type and this is a number data type. Okay, we are gonna have a lot more practice with these in the future, but I hope you got the main idea out from this. Then we have the greater than comparison operator. I'm gonna change this back to a number. And let's check if x is larger than y. And I'm also gonna change these lines once again. So here we go. And here we go. So if x is larger than y, do this. Else do this. And because they are equal, this will result in false. Because it results in false, we print this line of code. X and y have the different value, even though they don't. So this is lying to us once again. But yeah, that's the comparison operator greater than. Let's set x to be, for example, 15. And I'm gonna change these texts a little bit. So x is greater than y. X is not greater than y. There we go. So if x is greater than y, we do this. And if it's not, we do this. And right now x is 15, y is 10, so we will say x is greater than y. Alright, what if we make x smaller, like 8? Then we will do this line of code. X is not greater than y. Then I'm gonna change the text again. X is less and not less. And I'm gonna use the less than operator. So if x is less than y, and in this case it's true, x is less than the value of y. So we're gonna print this line, x is less than y. Otherwise we would do this. So if I'm gonna change this to be 10, then the x is not any more smaller than the value of y. And it will say that x is not less than y, because these values are now equal. So that's the reason this is happening. Okay, so that's the greater than and less than operators. I'm gonna remove them from here. And then let's go to this one. So this is the greater than or equal to sign. So I'm gonna change my text again. X is greater than y or equal to y. And x is not greater than y or equal to y. So let's make this x is larger or equal to y. And now it's gonna say x is greater than y or it's equal to y. In this example, the values are the same. So these are equal to one another, and we will print this line of code. X is greater than y or equal to y. In this case, it's equal. Okay, if we set x to be 15, it's not gonna change anything. In this example, it's gonna be greater than y. X is 15 and y is 10. So yeah. Alright. Then we can use the less than or equal to operator. So x is less than y or equal to y, and x is not less than y or equal to y. So let's change this around. So in this example, we are checking if the value of x, which is 15, is smaller or equal to the value of 10. In this example, it's false. The value of x is not smaller and it's not equal to the value of y. So that's why we print this line of code. X is not less than y or equal to y. If I set these to be the same again, this will result in true because x, well, it's not smaller than y, but it's equal to y. So we will print this line of code. X is less than y or equal to y. Alright. So that's basically how these work. So these are the comparison operators in JavaScript. Then there's one more thing I want to show you in this episode, and it's the ternary operator. So the ternary operator is basically a shortcut for the if statement. I'm gonna comment the if statement out. There we go. And now I'm gonna use the ternary operator. So for example, right now we have two values. X is equal to 10 and y is equal to 10. We can use the ternary operator, so we can say x is strictly equal to y and add a question mark. Now if this is true, it will say example.textContent equals true, and then we can say colon example.textContent false. So basically this is the same thing as this. So yeah, here we go. Alright, so I'm gonna comment this out. There we go, and so yeah, this is the ternary operator. So here we are asking if x, or the value of x, is strictly equal to y, a question mark, and then if that's true, we will do this line of code. Then we have a colon, and if it's false, we will do this line of code. So in this example, x is strictly equal to y. They both have the same value and data type. So we will do this line of code. So we will take the example paragraph and change the text content to be true, which is shown on the web page. Now, if I change the value of x to be 15, we will print false, because x is no longer strictly equal to y. So, in this case, we will ask a kind of a question mark, and we will skip over this because it's not true, and we will use this line instead and print out the false word. So yeah, basically the ternary operator works like this. You can add a condition, then a question mark. Oh, what is that? A question mark, and then you will add right over here the true or false. So if the condition is true, we will do this line of code, which is this. And if the condition is false, we will do this line of code. And in this case, this condition is false, So we do this line of code right over here. Okay, that's a lot of stuff for one episode, but I hope that you're not too overwhelmed about this. We will have a lot of practice with this in the future. And yeah, this is just an introduction to the operators in JavaScript, the if statement, and the ternary operator. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you learned something new from this episode. And I hope I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode as well. And yeah, have a wonderful day everyone and happy learning. Bye bye.